Hey everyone, welcome back to the Side Hustle Weekend podcast. My name is Ankit, and I'm the founder of Thrillverse Media and author of over 20 best-selling fiction novels. I started the Side Hustle Weekend podcast after noticing something very powerful. People with multiple income streams weren't just surviving tough times, they were thriving through them. So in the Side Hustle Weekend podcast, the focus is on side hustle, AI, passive income, solopreneurship, and making money online. But first, meet your AI hosts for today, Sarah Mitchell and Alex Parker. In each episode, they dive into exciting new opportunities in the world of side hustles, AI, productivity, solopreneurship, and passive income. So grab your coffee, take some notes, and let's talk about making money smarter, not harder. Also, before we start, hit that like button, share, and subscribe to join our Weekend Hustlers community. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our episodes where we break down more side hustle strategies. Over to you, Sarah and Alex, and I'll catch up with you at the end of the podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Deep Dive. So today we're tackling something that I think a lot of us wonder about. When do you know it's really time to quit a job? And how do you make that a smart move, not just running away?
Yeah, great question. And we've got some really interesting sources for this. We've got hardcore military advice, but also practical career stuff. How do those fit together, right?
Right. I mean, one that really struck me was this idea of extreme ownership, taking full responsibility for what you do at work.
Oh, yeah. That's classic Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, those former Navy SEAL guys. They're big on that.
Exactly. And it sounds good, but one of the sources pointed out how that can actually make you stay in a bad job too long.
Oh, for sure. Willink and Babin even say that if you take extreme ownership too far, you end up blaming yourself for stuff that's the company's fault. You just burn out trying to fix what you can't control.
It's like you're constantly paddling upstream, right? But the whole river's flowing the wrong way.
Totally.
Yeah.
At what point do you realize it's not me, it's the current here? Okay, so then Willink and Babin, they give us this thing they call it the escalation ladder. Before you just bail, what can you actually do?
It's smart. It's not just whining to your coworkers. It's like, one, you actually figure out what the problem are clearly. Then two, you have solutions. You don't just complain.
So you're coming prepared.
Yeah. And then three, you're writing it down.
Yeah.
Here's the impact. This is costing us money. This is a safety issue, whatever it is.
Proving you tried,
Right.
right? Which a future employer would want to see.
Exactly. And even four, if you have to, go above your boss. Carefully, but sometimes that's what it takes.
Wow. So even with all that, sometimes you hit a wall, and then what?
Well, this is where it got really interesting to me. Jordan Peterson, he talks about this trap, like the psychology of staying miserable for too long.
I got chills reading that. He doesn't just say it sucks. He's like, you're paying a price for that unhappiness every day.
It's like debt, right? Psychological debt. And Peterson had this analogy. Imagine there's just one annoying thing at work every day.
Okay, I can relate to that.
But now multiply that by a year. 3 years, 5 years. It's not just putting up with it at ADSUP. The longer you wait, the more baggage you have, and you're older, maybe it's harder to change careers then.
It's like that saying, better the devil you know.
Yeah, but Peterson flips it, right? He's like, that devil you know might get way worse the longer you stick around.
Whoa, okay, so point taken. But sometimes it feels like we get caught up in the big picture of our career, like I want to be a whatever, and we forget what we'd actually be doing all day.
And that's where Ali Abdaal comes in. This guy, he's all about productivity, and he has this pixel theory that's so simple but brilliant.
I love his stuff.
So he's like, forget the fancy job title for a minute. What are the tasks, day in, day out? Those are the pixels making up your life, right? And if those suck, the whole picture sucks.
I immediately thought of surgeons, prestigious, right? But what is it actually? Hours on your feet, huge pressure, could be life or death stuff. Is that what you find fulfilling, or are you just chasing the image?
Abdaal nails it. You got to be brutally honest about what you like to do. Figure that out. Then find the job where you get to do that, not the other way around.
Okay, so we know the signs to watch for, but what if you're stuck right now? How do you even start building towards a better career?
Well, this is where Abdaal has this strategy that's almost too simple, but it makes sense. He says, invest just 13 minutes a day.
13 minutes. I mean, small steps matter, but that seems tiny.
It's like investing, right? Compound interest. A little bit consistently over time, it grows. So 13 minutes learning a new skill, reaching out to someone in your field.
I guess it is doable even on a crazy day.
That's the point. No excuses. We all have 13 minutes. And here's what I found really cool. Both Abdal and this professor he interviews, Grace Lorden, they say it's okay to change your mind.
Yeah, like we don't have to have it all figured out at 20 or whatever. Making a U-turn isn't failing, it's part of the process.
Lorden even says good leaders need to be able to admit they were wrong and change course. That flexibility is valuable.
It's like those nature documentaries, right? You see how rivers change course over time. It looks random, but it's finding the easiest path, like adapting to the land. Our careers kind of do that too.
I love that it's true. And speaking of adapting, Peterson had this point that hit me hard about always having an escape route.
Okay, now that does sound dramatic. Haha. Like a go bag under our desk at work, ready to bolt.
Not quite that literal,
Yeah.
but it's about options. It
Oh,
makes
yeah.
you feel freer. Maybe it's not another job lined up, but
Yeah.
like keeping your skills sharp, or you're networking with people in your field.
Or even just having some savings so you're not stuck because you're scared.
Right. When you know you could leave, you put up with less crap, basically. It
Yeah.
gives you leverage to ask for what you want, or even just the guts to say, nope, this isn't working anymore.
It shifts the power, doesn't it?
Totally. Instead of feeling trapped, you can be more clear-headed at work, confident.
Like having that safety net, even if you never use it, just knowing it's there.
Gives you peace of mind. And here's the thing. Even if you don't leave that job, having escape routes makes you better at it.
How so?
You're more confident, right? More likely to speak up, to fix problems. You're not putting up with dysfunction.
It's like they say, the best time to find a new job is when you already have one.
Exactly. You're coming from strength, not desperation.
I feel like that confidence would spill over into other parts of life too, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Knowing you can handle tough stuff, it builds resilience. That's like an internal escape route too.
This is making me think about my career totally differently. But like, for someone who's been stuck for a while, how do they even figure out what they want anymore?
That's where Abdal's Me Plus exercise is so good. It's about picturing your ideal future self. Not just the job, but what are you doing? What does your day look like? What impact are you having?
Oh, I love that. It's not just about a title, it's the whole picture.
Yeah. Get specific. What's the environment like? Who are you working with? What problems are you solving? What's the energy you feel when you imagine that future?
And then you work backwards, right?
Right. What skills do you need to get there? What connections? What are the first few steps you can take today to start moving that way?
And it's okay if that plan changes along the way.
Totally. Professor Lorden was big on that. Those U-turns are part of it.
You know, it's funny, this whole escape route thing, it feels less like running away from something and more like going towards what you want.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not about shirking responsibility. It's taking charge of your path, making choices that fit your values, where you want to go.
But let's be real, even when you have your Me Plus figured out and you're working towards it, there's going to be bumps in the road. That's just life.
Of course. And that's where all these tools come in, right? That extreme ownership where you can control things. The escalation ladder to tackle problems strategically. Pixel theory to make sure your daily actions are matching your big goals. Those 13 minutes a day. That escape route for peace of mind. It's like a toolkit for any career.
It sounds pretty empowering, honestly. What about like when it's not even quitting, but just needing to stand up for yourself, asking for a raise, setting boundaries, that kind of thing?
That's where that internal escape route is key. That self-reliance Peterson talks about. Like building the inner strength to handle hard conversations, even when you're scared.
So knowing you can face those challenges, even if it's uncomfortable, make tough decisions.
And honestly, those are often the moments you grow the most. You push yourself, you realize, hey, I'm stronger than I thought. You build those escape route muscles inside and out.
It's not just having a plan B, it's having the confidence to advocate for yourself, to set limits, to walk away from what's not working, whether it's a job or anything else.
That's it. It's about knowing your worth and making choices that reflect that. And sometimes that means being brave enough to leave something comfortable, to chase something more true to yourself.
You know, all this talk about escape routes, jumping ship, it's making me think of those old explorers sailing off to who knows where, right?
I love that. It takes guts to do that, whether it's literal exploring or in your career. And sometimes those unknown places turn out to be exactly what you were looking for, even if you didn't know it yet.
It's like taking a leap of faith, right? Trusting you'll figure it out, even if it's messy. But for people feeling lost right now, what's like one concrete thing they could do based on all this?
I'd say start with those 13 minutes a day. Pick one thing you can do today to move toward your Me Plus, even if it's blurry still. Read an article, reach out to someone, update your resume, brainstorm for 13 minutes.
It's like planting a seed, right? Might not see anything right away, but if you keep at it.
It can grow into something amazing.
Exactly. And don't underestimate those little things. They add up, they create opportunities, and you start to see more clearly what you really want.
This whole conversation has been, like, mind-blowing, honestly. I'm looking at my career totally differently now. And not just career, like life.
Yeah.
It's not about being fearless. It's about having the right tools, the right mindset to deal with the tough stuff, because that's going to come no matter what you're chasing.
That's so true. It's not about avoiding the hard parts. It's about knowing how to handle them. And sometimes the bravest thing as it starts, to take a step back, look around, and make a change, even if it feels scary.
So we've really gone deep on this whole when to jump ship thing. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up?
I would just say this. You are the captain of your own ship. You get to choose the direction, adjust the sails, weather the storms, trust your gut, listen to your heart, and never stop exploring.
Beautiful. It's a great reminder that our careers, our lives, they're not fixed destinations, right? They're journeys.
So for all of you listening out there, what really stuck with you today? What's one small thing you could do this week to build your own escape route or take a step closer to that Me Plus vision? Think about that, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
So, that was today's episode of my Side Hustle Weekend podcast. For everyone listening, if you're ready to take action on what you learned today, here's where you can find more resources. First, head over to sidehustleweekend.com. I've put together detailed guides, templates, and case studies. And while you are there, don't miss out on my free newsletter, Side Hustle Weekend. If you found value in today's discussion, hit that like button and subscribe to join our Weekend Hustlers community. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our episodes where we break down more side hustle strategies. Check the description below for all the tools and resources we mentioned today. Remember, everyone's journey starts with a single step. Whether you're looking to make an extra $500 a month or build something bigger, start with what you learned today and take action. I'll see you in the next episode where we'll break down another practical way to grow your income. Keep hustling smarter, not harder.